Are you an investor wanting to invest in Apple stock, AAPL? If yes, these top 10 historically correct facts about Apple stock, AAPL stock truths are what you need to know before investing. Join us on this ride as we unravel the top 10 historically correct facts about Apple stocks. Kindly subscribe to our channel and like our video. Taking the count from the bottom 10, here's all you need to know. 10. Apple's iPhone is the primary driver of AAPL stocks. Though many people disagree, Apple is famous for innovations in technology, and this multinational technology company is king regarding innovations in phones and computers. However, the iPhone is Apple's most popular and sought-after product on the market. It generated approximately a US $192 billion cash flow for the company in 2021, accounting for 52% of its total US $365.8 billion earnings, thus increasing Apple's market value 5 times its marginal point in 2020. Higher revenue is a big deal for the stock. 9. Apple stock AAPL has split 5 times. Apple first joined the stock market on December 12, 1980 at $22 per share. The stock has split 5 times since its initial public offering. So on a split-adjusted basis, the initial public offering share price was worth 10 cents. The stock split is as follows. The 4-for-1 basis was on August 28, 2020. The 7-for-1 basis on June 9, 2014. The 2-for-1 basis on February 28, 2005. 2-for-1 June 21, 2000. 2-for-1 June 16, 1987. 8. Apple stocks are purchased through brokerage companies. Apple stock AAPL is inaccessible directly through the tech-savvy company. Instead, stakes in Apple are bought through any brokerage company, including online brokerage services. Shares in Apple are traded on the NASDAQ under the AAPL ticker. To become a proud owner of this tech giant stock, find a good online broker and determine the amount of money you wish to reimburse into the company. 7. Apple didn't pay many dividends to investors until 2012. The hard truth here is that Apple Incorporated didn't pay a higher dividend until somewhere in 2012 when it started gaining ground. What could have been the reason? That remains unspoken and no one knows. However, it could be because the company didn't have much capital. Though not many people bought a stake in Apple, Apple paid a small dividend from 1987 to 1995. The exact dividend payout was with a range of 6 per share to 12 cents per share of each quarter. Nonetheless, a stake in Apple today is worth more than you can imagine. 6. Steve Wozniak sold $1 million worth of Apple stocks to employees who wouldn't have gotten any after Apple's initial public offering. Co-founder of Apple Incorporated, Steve Wozniak sold 80,000 of his shares in Apple to employees despite Steve Jobs' refusal to give any to early employees who worked with him in a garage. When Apple was up and running, it became evident that some early employees had been treated more fairly than others in the distribution of stock. Despite that, Steve Wozniak sold cheaply 80,000 of his own Apple shares to employees who felt cheated at his expense. 5. Apple's third co-founder Ronald Wayne sold his 10 stakes in Apple for US $800 in 1976. After being with Apple Computer Company for 12 good days, Ronald Wayne, Apple's third co-founder, sold his company shares back to his co-founders, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, for $800. This was because Steve Jobs had taken a US $15,000 loan to buy supplies to meet Apple's first contract with the Byte Shop, which needed close to 100 computers. Currently, a 10% stock in Apple would be worth more than $95 billion, and that kind of fortune would have made Ronald Wayne one of the wealthiest people globally. However, Ronald Wayne says he doesn't regret his decision. 4. Every investor's favorite stake is in Apple stocks. Apple seems to fulfill its promises to investors. As a result, the company has earned the trust of investors who have made the tech giant their all-time favorite investment destination. Investors continue to display their loyalty, commitment, and confidence in the tech-savvy company Apple, even in the face of uncertainties. 3. Steve Jobs crashed Apple stock to become CEO again in 1997. In 1997, during Gil Amelio's tenure as Apple CEOs, Apple's stock slumped and hit a 12-year record low. However, that was partially caused by a single sale of 1.5 million shares of Apple stock by an unknown party who was later identified as Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs then manipulated the board of directors to oust Gil Amelio in a boardroom coup, and Jobs regained his position as chief executive officer at Apple Incorporated. 2. Apple was the first United States company worth $700 billion in market capitalization. Apple Incorporated, in February 2015, became the first ever United States technology company to reach a market capitalization of $700 billion, and this was a record high in history. Apple's peak valuation was about $775 billion. However, the tech innovations company in August of 2013 became the most valuable company in the world, surpassing ExxonMobil Corporation. 1. Apple has the most extensive stock globally, with a market capitalization worth US $2.843 trillion. The multinational technology company, Apple, specializing in consumer electronics, computer software, and online services, is the world's largest company with market capitalization worth US $2.843 trillion. A stake in Apple costs $174.56 per share, and it's by far the most significant information technology company worldwide. Apple first joined the stock market on December 12, 1980 at $22 per share. The stock, however, has split 5 times since its initial public offering. So on a split-adjusted basis, the initial public offering share price was worth 10 cents. Regardless of that, it is among the leading stock holding companies in the world today and tells how wonderful the company has performed over the years. These facts are undoubtedly mind-boggling, especially considering how Apple started and its reach. The company doesn't seem to know when to stop or rest. It is continually giving its consumers the best of innovative products. What are your thoughts? Do any of these historical facts stand out for you? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and like our video. Thank you for watching.